The words on Chris Perkins' desk say it all. The 2024 Strip-Till Innovator Award recipient challenges conventional wisdom with a systems approach banding program that's boosting corn yields by over 60 bushels per acre on his Otwell, Indiana farm. And every time he breaks the 300 bushel barrier, a vintage decal bag goes up on the walls of his office.
We put the name of the field up, we put what hybrid it was, the year, and then what it was.
So what's the key to these bin-busting yields?
You know, starting with a band of nutrition below the plant, picking the correct hybrid, feeding that hybrid, and then protecting the health of that hybrid. I hate to say it's that easy, but once you start to kind of get the hang of it, it starts becoming a lot easier.
Perkins somehow makes it look easy, all while quarterbacking Banded Ag, a research, consulting, and custom strip-till business that's grown to over 10,000 acres in Indiana and Kentucky since 2017. He gives most of the credit to his dream team of employees.
Yeah, everything we do, everything we have, it really doesn't have shit to do with me. It has everything to do with them.
As his banded team prepares for another busy spring, Perkins visits with fellow strip-tiller Harold Crawford, who also works as a territory manager for Montag in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana.
A good crop will grow you an even better crop the next year. It is amazing how that works.
Well, we go right back to that residue we were talking about before.
Yeah.
350 bushels worth of residue should, a year or two down the road, give you that much more food value than 200 or 250.
Oh, absolutely.
The conversation about residue continues on residue from a 340 bushel crop, and the topic eventually shifts to cover crops as Harold asks Chris if he's considered adding them to his formula.
There's been a fairly large gain of cover crops in our area. I'm not saying those guys are right, I'm not saying they're wrong. Basically, I'm just sitting back and studying right now. But there used to be, and there's still a fair amount, but there used to be a lot of wheat grown.
Sure.
You know, so I've always kind of been of the mindset, well, if you're going to grow a cover crop, you might as well get paid for it. You know, the wheat's a pretty good cover crop.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that the fields hold better, but, you know, there again, you know, going back to, you know, why are we using a cover crop? Are we using it because it's making everything healthier? Okay, I could buy that. We'll have that conversation. Or are we doing it because, well, it helps hold the ground in place? Okay, well, I'll definitely have that conversation. But really good corn residue will hold the ground in place just as well as anything that I pay to plant.
Cover crop or not, Perkins believes in balanced nutrition, feeding the plant with a one-and-done spring fertility program that includes N, P, K, sulfur, zinc, and boron 7 to 8 inches below where the planter runs. He makes spring strips with this landlubber machine, and it's equipped with a liquid application system and a dry fertilizer box.
You know, we're able to incorporate the dry obviously through here, and then here's our liquid line, and you can see how it comes down and just feeds right out down the bottom down there between both of them, between the dry and the liquid.
Perkins is also using an in-furrow starter fertilizer mix with his John Deere ExactEmerge planter.
216-14 is what I'm running. It's just a low salt pop-up starter. That's actually new for this year. In the past, all I'd been running through that tube was water and sugar and a fulvic. That's it. There's nothing else.
So you're using the sugar and water mix, or had been?
Yeah, with the fulvic.
My son keeps saying, we need to be putting sugar and water in the furrow.
Yeah, so I was just running water only. And a lot of people are like, you lost your mind? I'm like, there's a lot going on when you put sugar and fulvics together inside that's creating that biology where that seed is.
At the end of the day, Perkins views every single one of these decisions as critical pieces to the puzzle, a systematic approach to boosting yields and maintaining plant health.
The corn that had the extra sugars in it, and had the extra fertility in it, and had the makeups of a decent corn crop, well, I mean, that corn was just degrading and as black and carbon on it as could be. And that was when I realized right then, there's more to these fungicides than just keeping these plants healthy. It's also a decomposition later for breaking down to keep the next crop and get it going. But all these things, they all touch one another in some form or fashion of trying to mend these programs together.